Hi there, in this eTool video we are going to learn how to edit design elements or add design elements. So within your projects and within your buildings you have your different design options, and in that last video on adding design options we added this blank design option. So let's navigate to that now and start actually populating it. The first way of populating it is to actually do it really specifically line by line, adding design elements as we go. So you might start with the foundations and you add some foundations here in the form of footings, and we might be using reinforced concrete. And you can just add the quantity in the units, or you can use this little calculator here. So you might know that it's a strip footing, 400 mil. You might have 1 metre length, 400 mil wide by 400 mil deep, and then the circumference around, or the length of that strip footing might be 200 metres. And that'll automatically account for how much quantity of concrete you need. If you want to run a cost LCA, you need to enter the costs in as well. So we'll just put an arbitrary cost in for that. And the design life, so you'd expect this concrete to probably last 150 or 200 years. And then you can either leave the location details blank, but if you want to be specific and accurate with your LCA, you can put the country of the manufacturer, if it was imported, or the actual postcode if it's an Australian product. And in this case, for concrete, I think normally the manufacturer and the distributor is going to be the same for a finished product concrete anyway. So we can save that, and you can see now that that's been added to the design, and you've got a graph pop up here that tells you what's involved in terms of carbon over the life of the building. So there's a little bit of transport involved here, a lot of materials, and a tiny little bit of recurring energy. Now let's just use an extreme case here and say that we were actually bringing this concrete in from Sydney. Let's just see what happens to the graph here, and you can see in this case that the transport energies jump through the roof, and there's actually more transport carbon associated with transporting the concrete to the building site than there is actually in the for producing the concrete itself. So we'll just change that back. Something more realistic. So if we navigate back, then we have, you can see here that we've started filling out the foundations. And if you're adding design elements in this manner, you'd also have to add manually the assembly energy that's associated with those concrete foundations. So you might have a concrete pump that comes to the site and actually pumps that concrete into the footings. Might run for 5 hours at a cost of $1,000, and it might come from the same place as the concrete. It doesn't have a churn rate, or the churn rate's the same as the concrete. And then we save that, and we can see now that assembly energy, well, it's minuscule, but it has been added to the design. You can see it down here, the assembly carbon. The other point I'll quickly go to is if you go to the Details tab and choose a benchmark to measure this design against, then you'll actually see, as you're building your design, how it compares to that benchmark. And the benchmark is this blue figure under here. So that's how to add design elements, but you really want to watch the next video, which is about templates, because that makes life a lot easier.